college education, how expensive it's got, because that's another big debt on the books, right? Student loans.
That's not an accident either.
So, talk to me about that.
Well, what happened after the 2008 crash, there was, I forgot the name of FFL or something like this. It came in the 1950s, and it was to provide student loans for needy people. But what happened when the market crashed in 2007, 8, and 9, Obama had to cancel it because nobody wanted to lend money to students.
Right.
So Obama changed it, and it went to what we now know as the student loan debt. And the student loan debt that these kids, and so when you have student loan debt, colleges can charge more money. The trouble with the new loans that Obama put out, I'm not blaming him, but those loans are the worst type of debt you can get. They're non-forgivable. If you don't pay off that student loan debt, it's an albatross around your neck forever. So the people that get screwed by that student loan debt are people who either drop out of school and they have this debt, or they don't make enough money to amortize the debt. So right after the subprime crash in 2008, that's when these new student loans came in 2010. And that's why we have a problem today. But they don't tell the students that. And those schools are just sucking cash out of these poor students. You know, I mean, it's horrible what they're doing to students. So we had subprime debt, and now we have subprime education, and you're still not learning anything about money. It's criminal what we're doing.
It really is, because they become enslaved, because of the debt. It's
Somebody's going to pay that, so I'm a banker, I'll lend you the money. Thank you very much. You're going to pay me forever. Because you can't default on it. You cannot declare bankruptcy on student loan debt. Student loan debt is now the #1 asset of the U.S. government.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
We have ripped off the youth of our country going to school, and the school teachers are clueless.
So you get this seduction as far as saying, you need to go to school to be somebody. Then we'll lend you the money because we want you to go to school. And the schools then get greedy in a sense of saying, well, if they can borrow that much money, we can raise our tuition.
It's so bad.
Wow.
Do you remember those there's a lot of schools today are diploma mills.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You go there and then they make it really easy and then you get your diploma and you're out, but they got your money.
Wow.
And they're not competent students. I mean, I have a lot of employees, a lot of them are not ready for anything. So it's kind of a mess we're in right now. So I sit there, and that's why my little Rich Dad company chugs along, and I love talking to guys like you. And say what I say, and then the teachers send me hate mail.
You mentioned a book by M. Buckminster Fuller that you read that had a massive impact on you. Was there more about him that influenced your thinking?
Well, again, that seems like a parallel universe, because in 1967, I was at school in New York. I went to the Merchant Marine Academy. And there was a thing called Expo 67 in Montreal. So my classmate and I hitchhiked to Montreal to see the geodesic dome that Fuller built. And the geodesic dome by Fuller was the U.S. pavilion at the World's Fair. But I never met the guy there. And then years later, in the 81, he put on a seminar called The Future of Business. It was 1 week long. So I traveled from Hawaii to California to attend this 1 week seminar with Dr. Fuller. And he blew my brain away. It went, boom. It transformed me. I saw another world. So I think the spiritual side kicked in versus the mental side. And he had a saying, he says, you do not belong to you. You belong to the universe. Your true purpose may be forever obscured to you, but you may rest assured you are committing your life to the highest. If you are getting close to your life's purpose if you commit your life to the highest advantage of others. In other words, was I working for me or was I working for others? So that was 81.
Did you feel like you found a purpose at that point? Like you got cool?
It was time to work for others. Yeah. At the time, I was in rock and roll, making a lot of money. I was working for Duran Duran, the Police, Boy George, Van Halen, and all that. Sex, drugs. I don't do drugs, but a lot of sex and rock and roll. It was fun, and I was just making money. Yeah. And when Fuller says you do not belong to you belong to the universe. Your true purpose may be forever obscured to you, but you may rest assured you're if you commit your life to the highest advantage of others. And so in 81, I had to ask myself, what do I know? What can I do? As Fuller says, I'm just a little guy.
Yeah.
So what can we all do as little people? And we find our purpose when we want to help others. We don't find our purpose when we just want to make money. And that's what I was doing. So I said, what do I know? And that was 81. Then 83, his book came out, Grunge of Giants. Mm-hmm. And it was about how the central banks of the world rip us all off. I knew that game.
Wow.
I grew up in it. I know it.
Mm.
So then I said, I'm going to have to start teaching. So my wife and I in 83, God, sad, I sold everything. My wife and I went homeless just to teach. And we just kept teaching what we knew about money. And today we're multimillionaires, just kept going.